Welcome to another edition of Timoteo TV. I am your host today, Buddy Martinez, and I am accompanied by Sackmaster Freddie, Taekwon. I might be looking for a new team to coach, Janelet, and Dave, what grinds my gears, Garcia. Now we are down to our final four teams in the playoffs, and let me break down the scores for last week's games. We had the Colts in a close game, losing to the Packers 28-20. The Panthers losing to the Raiders 26-18. The Eagles blowing out the Vikings 60-6, and the Cowboys upsetting the Seahawks 27-38. Hey guys, what was the biggest upset, I guess, or what surprised you guys the most in this last week's games?
Well, what surprised me the most was the Colts. The Colts, they came to ball. They came to play. They obviously game planned against the Packers this week or last week. They were just clicking in all cylinders in the beginning. The start of the game, really, they really got their stuff together. That surprised me the most, though. I thought it was just going to be a blowout from the beginning.
Do you think the Packers took them lightly?
I think the Packers went in there thinking it was going to be a smooth sailing ride there, but it just wasn't that. That wasn't the case. The Packers really had to show what they were made of at the second half.
Gotcha. How about you, Taekwon?
So what surprised me the most was those darn Cowboys. To have 3 wins against one of the top teams in the league, 1, 2, 3. That's very, very impressive to me. I actually thought by the third time, it's not a charm. I thought we would have had this one. Go Cowboys.
And how about you, Freddie? What surprised you this last week?
I'm on the same boat as Dave. I'll say the Colts surprised me the most. Like, they came out fast. They came out hot. They came out ready to play. And you can tell that they wanted it, but Pac-9 obviously probably wanted it a little more because they answered right back, and the Colts didn't know what to do when they started, answering back. So, but the Colts did. This surprised me.
What do you guys think about the Vikings and Eagles? Do you think it was going to be that lopsided?
Well, go ahead. You can go.
I actually think that we should redo that first round, that game. We should put the Ravens in. First of all, key thing, Ravens had a coach. All right, Vikings had no one.
No coach came to the game. That was
Ravens had a quarterback. Vikings had no one. Ravens had a team. Vikings had no one.
Yeah, I can agree with you. They didn't show up. Yeah, Freddie, what do you think?
I didn't think the game was going to be that much of I didn't think there was going to be a blowout like that. But when he brought up the Ravens being taking their spot, and I think that if they did take the spot, then it would have been a different game. Because that last game the Ravens had against the Panthers and that they won, they came out ready to ball. And I think if they would have been here, it probably would have been different. And who's in the final, 4 now?
Yeah, well, we can't do nothing about that. But yeah, the Eagles just seem to turn it up in the playoffs, and that might be the biggest blowout in playoff history. But let's get to our first 1 o'clock game this week, and it's between the Raiders and Eagles. Last time these two teams met, the Raiders won 24-12. So what do you guys think? How you guys feel about this matchup this week?
I like this matchup. I think it comes down to the quarterbacks. It depends on whichever quarterback plays better. I believe is going to win the game. They won the regular season game without their starting quarterback, which is Smoke. It really made the difference in the playoffs. If you really could see, Smoke really brought that team together and it really helped them out having Jeff on the outside. But I just think the Raiders are too much right now, especially with Smoke at quarterback. I think the Eagles might try to get there and compete, but I don't think.
So are you giving Smoke the edge at quarterback?
I think I'm gonna have to go with Smoke on this one, especially with Rob coming back, coaching, and I gotta give props to Josh. Josh did a great job with that offense last week. But I just think Rob and Josh working together is just gonna be one amazing team right there.
Oh yeah, they won 2 Urban Bowls together. What are you guys thinking?
So what I'm thinking is Jeff and Jock. Jeff and Jock. JJ. That's what we call it. All right? Mark my words. I'm going to say this early, and I'm going to say it right now. We're going to have a rematch of last year's Urban Bowl. Cowboys versus the Raiders. I believe Jeff this year has been one of the most do-it-all players. He's played quarterback, beat the Eagles. And that's what he's not going to play quarterback this game, but he's still going to beat the Eagles this week.
I mean, it's going to be a great game. All players from both teams are supposed to be there. With Jeff back at receiver, I think we are stronger on offense now. But then Wesley is also coming to play for the Eagles, and from my knowledge, he has never played against the Raiders. So I just think it's going to come down to whoever wants this win more.
Yeah, so what are you guys thinking defensively? Who has the edge defensively in this game?
I think I have to go with the Raiders here. I know the Eagles have the best linebacker in the game with Julius Santos out there, but the Raiders have Jock, Freddie, and then they have Jeff over top at safety. If that doesn't scare you, I don't know what will.
That is the best middle
That is the best middle defense I've seen, playing. And I played against great people, but that is a good middle right there. And it's going to be hard, but like I said, I think it's going to be competitive, but I got to give them the defensive edge.
Now the Eagles have scored, I think, 3 defensive touchdowns, and that's no surprise. They've been doing it all year long. Brian, Teddy, Wesley, whoever gets these interceptions are able to create points for their offense. Do you think that's going to be a factor in this game?
Well, first of all, you can't go off of the prior playoff game because the Eagles played no one. So 60 points on no one, you really.
But they've been scoring points on defense all year.
I don't see that happening. I think you got Smoke, who's a much better quarterback, who's not going to throw picks that just straight to Eagles D-backs. So I think it's going to be an easy Raiders win.
Yeah, and then which defense do you think is better here?
I like my defense. I mean, I try to get them hype, and then once they get on the road, then that's it. But I think the Eagles do have a strong defense as well. Julius is great. They have my little brother Anthony at sacker. This is his first year playing, but he's doing good. And you have Teddy in the back, and I think Brian also back there. So, I mean, we're just gonna see what happens.
X factor.
The X factor.
The X factor has to be Jimmy on this game in this matchup. Jimmy is the X factor.
Why do you think Jimmy's the X factor?
Because you don't really pay attention to Jimmy. No one really pays attention to him. Yeah, and it's sad because he's good, but he is the. If he balls out, they're gonna have trouble with Jimmy.
So who do you think is gonna be your impact player of the game?
Impact player of the game, Jeff.
You think Jeff's gonna be able to do it on both sides of the ball?
Jeff does it on both sides of the ball, game in and game out.
And how about you? Smoke? You think Smoke is the quarterback? Yeah. It seems like we're leaning heavy on the Raiders over here. Why don't we get your guys' scores? So what do you guys think the outcome is going to be?
I have the Raiders squeaking this one out 20-28 in a close one. So I think Raiders going to pull it off.
I got this game also being pretty close, although I am a big Raiders guy. I think it's going to be 26-24 Raiders.
I would say the score might be 26-20 Raiders, but it's going to be a great game, man.
Yeah, so you guys are all leaning towards the Raiders, towards the silver and black. I don't know. I think the Eagles have some playmakers here, and they're hungry to win with that big blowout win. I think, you guys are not talking about players like Malik and Teddy. I think that defense for the Eagles is for real, and I think they're going to make an impact. But let's get into our second game. We got we got Packers versus the Cowboys in this game at our 2:30 time slot. Hey guys, what impresses you about these two teams?
The first thing I want to say is I'm a Packer alumni, but yet the Packers have not made the Urban Bowl since I've played. All right, I don't see it happening now. I don't ever see it happening again unless my baby boy becomes a Packer. All right, so this is a Cowboys all day. Cowboys are going to win this game. All right.
Pack 9.
Cowboys are going to win this game.
Pack 9.
Without Tyquan, the Packers are not going back to the Urban Bowl.
So what's scary? So what about the Cowboys is leading you to this prediction? What is
You look at the Cowboys' losses. They've never lost a game when they had their full team. Every time they bring their team out, they make the adjustments needed to actually win the game. We changed our defense up. We went cover 2. All right, we stopped them 4 times in a row, and then somehow they decided to run a route that actually beats our cover 2, a corner route. I think that's smart coaching over there.
So you think Leo, he stepped it up for sure?
I don't think it was Leo. I don't want to give Leo the props. I think it was someone else on the sideline of the Cowboys made a smart decision, say, hey, they run a cover 2, let's run a corner route.
So you're saying that this is coming down to the smarts of the coaches.
The coaching.
So you're trying to say that the Pac 9 doesn't have smart coaches.
I don't know who coaches the Pac 9 actually.
Okay.
I know they have guys on the sideline. I don't know who is their coach.
But what you're not really getting at is that the players are the ones on the field making the plays.
Once again, I don't know who coaches the Pac 9.
So the coaches can call a play, but it's up to the players to execute. And I believe that the Pac-9 they're going to execute.
The coaches actually don't call the plays on the Packers. I've got word outside before I walked in here that the quarterback calls the plays. And you see what happens when the quarterback calls plays. He throws 3 picks in a row and almost loses the game.
Now last time the two teams met, the Packers won 32-6. Do you think it's any of that's gonna play a part in this game?
Listen, let me just say, let's thank God we don't believe in myths, okay? Because whoever told him that Shane calls the plays is obviously on something, right? So, but let's not point fingers here, okay? Because this definitely wasn't me. But anyways, the last meeting between the Cowboys was much different. We played a quarterback that's not their current quarterback. Their current quarterback is Leroy, and he is playing amazing, right? Out of his mind.
At least against the Seahawks.
And nobodies as well. So, I mean, but other than that, I think it's going to be a tougher game. It has to be a tougher game. Leroy knows how to hit the little open spots. He knows how to drive down the field. I think Leo is actually going to do some coaching this week. He's probably going to look at film. I don't know. Maybe that's a big if. That's a big if. But I think he's going to actually prepare for this game, and we're going to try to do our best to compete, you know?
Gotcha. Yeah. So who do you guys think has the advantage at quarterback in this game?
The advantage at quarterback is the Packers. Shane has been the best quarterback this year. I still believe he's the best quarterback this year. I mean, he can't handle a rush, but
Wait, I don't know about that because he was getting by last week.
He's making the moves on the
He's making moves, man.
Was he doing that little Mike move?
No, he little Mike and a little bit of Shane.
Yeah.
Well,
She mix it up for him, though.
Shane, I have seen Shane break apart defenses. I mean, I do think he's the better quarterback. They have the upper hand when it comes to quarterback this week.
Now, how about receivers? Who has the better receivers?
Oh, it got to be the Pac-9.
The Pac-9?
The Pac-9 for sure. At the last meeting, they slept on Khalid Whitaker, and he ended up getting 4 on them. 4.
I think that was definitely his coming out part. Nobody knew who he was.
Oh, yeah, no one knew who he was.
That's 4 touchdowns?
4 touchdowns. That's 4 touchdowns to be exact. You know, they're going to sleep on Ryan this week. They're going to sleep on Ryan, and Ryan's probably going to be the one having 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, they say Shane is pretty good at spreading the ball around. Cowboys, I hear a little complaint about buddy ball over there. Seems like Leroy likes to throw the ball to Dion, Reggie, and Eric a lot.
I don't believe
Reese.
in buddy ball. I believe that if the guy is open, you throw the guy the ball.
So yeah, so now who were the receivers that were eating you guys up?
I actually can't point one guy. I actually think he dumped it off to his running back number 11, but he hit Dion, he hit Reggie on a few. I think Reese had a few on the sideline. I know our guys were worried about him on the sideline. He spread the ball out around. I don't think anybody had more than 1 touchdown this past week, unless they got a pick 6.
Now defensively, who do you think has the edge?
Well, I mean, I had to go with the Pac-9 again. You know, just based off last game, Crash had 2 picks. 2 picks, and they weren't easy picks either. He jumped up with, I think it was Leroy he jumped up with. I'm not completely sure on that, but I know he jumped up with somebody, you know, it was controversial, but he ended up getting 2 picks at the end of the day. Frankie was shutting people down on the other side. I just don't see, you know, Reggie and Dion, you know, they got a little bigger, you know. It looked like they did 10 years in the pen, maybe got out in 6. But, you know, I just got to go with the Pac-9 on this one.
Yeah, now how about, do you think experience plays a part in this? Because the Cowboys have a ton of playoff experience. Maybe not at quarterback, but at every other position. Do you think that's going to be a factor or no?
I don't think so. It's all going to come down to who wants to win more. Because just like the Colts surprised us coming out, they had little playoff experience, but they came out ready to ball. And if they would have kept that up the whole game, it would be them in the Final Four. So experience, I don't think is really going to matter.
Gotcha. Now, so how about you guys give me your play of the game and your score for this playoff game?
Play of the game, I got the Packers winning the game initially. Well, leading the game.
Gotcha.
And I believe that there's going to be an adjustment being made to whatever the Packers are doing. Someone on the Cowboys sideline is going to make it a big adjustment, and Reggie is going to come down with the pick 6 to win the game.
How about you, Freddie?
Player of the game?
Yeah, what do you think is going to be the play of the game and your score?
Of the game.
Yeah, just a turning point. Maybe
Play of the game is going to be an interception by my man's Winner. Winner, you can't sleep on him. You know, he sits there in the corner, he covers his zone, but he also hustles to the other side of the field and he's there for that tip ball. So you gotta watch out for that.
He's definitely a different player when his girlfriend's at the games.
Most definitely.
So what do you have the score being?
I'll say 28-20 Pac-9.
All right, well, I think it's going to be like it's been all season long with the Pac-9. Slow start, adjustments made at halftime, and turn up at halftime. That's how it's been going all season. I don't see why it's going to stop now. Hopefully it doesn't. But I have the Pac-9 starting off slow. The play of the game has to be Crash getting a momentum interception, and Frankie taking one to the crib as well. So I think those are the big momentum swings that the Pac-9 is going to need, and they're going to squeak this one out 26-28.
Yeah, hey guys, we have 3 out of the 4 are rookie quarterbacks, at least a rookie to play. This is their first year playing quarterback, and they've been doing pretty well. The Eagles are the only one with guys returning. Do you think that that's going to play any impact in this week's games?
I think the experience when it comes to quarterback, I believe it does factor in sometimes because you have to know and get your mind prepared for these type of games. If you see Shane, he started off rocky last week. He was real slow. Got 3 interceptions. He only had 4 interceptions all year, and he threw 3 in 1/2. So I believe knowing the game and knowing what you're going to go up against is really a factor when it comes to these playoff games.
Yeah, I think I agree with you guys. I think the games are going to be tight. I think pressure is for real. I think if a team puts themselves behind, it could definitely crush their season. And I think that the players have to make plays. It's gonna who doesn't turn the ball over, and we're gonna see who comes out to play this next week. Let's go over. I guess we usually break it down with the verse. And just a reminder again, the games are at 1 o'clock. And that's between the Raiders and Eagles, and 2:30 Pac-9 versus the Cowboys. So just take note of that adjustment. And just also keep in mind, we will be doing our All-Star predictions very soon. So keep aware of that. And we have summer camp coming up in July for you younger guys. So be asking. So here we go. So this is our round 2 of the playoffs. And it is Galatians 6:9. Don't get tired of doing what is good. At the right time, we will receive a blessing if we do not give up. All right, so that will do it for this week's edition of Timoteo TV. See you guys out on the field. And I guess next time we'll be getting together, we'll be talking about our championship.